Hi, you're on the Alice Reddit Stories channel. Subscribe to my channel as well as to my Facebook, the link is in the description. Enjoy watching. The man I'm dating is the plastic surgeon that was going to perform my breast reduction surgery, and now he refuses to do it. Oh, so I'm scheduled for breast reduction surgery in June, had my first appointment in August with a nurse, and I got an appointment with the doctor 3 months before surgery, March 2023. I started dating this guy 2 months ago, and everything about him is amazing. He told me he was plastic surgeon, and I thought, well, maybe he knows my surgeon, but I didn't think I was in a place in the relationship to discuss private surgeries. Anyway, now we know each other better and went official. I told him about my surgery. I told him my surgeon is supposed to be the best since he specializes in reconstructive surgery after breast cancer. He was silent and then asked me to log on and see details about the appointment in March. When I logged, I saw that it was his name. We were shocked. Then he broke the silence by saying, "Forget it, your breasts are too beautiful to change. I'm not gonna do it." I was so offended and told him he doesn't get to decide what I do with my body, and he said yes I do. He wouldn't touch my beautiful breasts just because I have body dysmorphia. I told him that the older I'm getting the saggier they're becoming, and he said that's nature. Breasts should look like this. So I asked him why he did these surgeries then, and why he agreed to do mine if he didn't think I needed it. He said, because I wasn't his GF. Now he says not only will he not perform it, he knows every surgeon and will tell them not to do it if I sought help somewhere else. Even abroad, he added. The actual F? I see that many misunderstood my post. When I realized he was my surgeon, I knew I was gonna have to change doctors. My indignation is at his way of telling me that I don't need surgery because my breasts are fine, and that he will actively try to block other surgeons from performing it. Anyway, I have an update. I wrote this yesterday after I left his place in tears. He called me today and apologized for what he said. He said he's been in this profession for years and he knows when someone isn't suited for plastic surgery. He apologized that he used our relationship to make this assessment, but that he thinks I truly suffer BDD. I'm insecure about my body, especially my breasts, and wouldn't let him see me totally naked, and that's something plastic surgeons deal with all the time. So yes, he will try to block my attempts at least until I got a psychological evaluation, because he knows surgeries can have negative effect since people with my condition always have higher expectations. He swore that it has nothing to do with him loving my body or boobs, but that it's his obligation to report suspicions of BDD. We didn't meet in any sinister way. I helped him remodel his kitchen and we hit it off. I'm 39 and he's 54. I don't know what to do now because maybe he isn't lying, but also I know he always talk about how I'm his when we're making love. Like asking, whose body part is this, and I answer, yours. Yeah, you are mine, or this body part is mine. I know kinks mean nothing, but I experienced that he's a bit possessive in bed, and maybe it has become outside of sex too. I'm just so confused. I have booked an appointment with a new clinic, but I'm contemplating to also seek therapy and see if there's some truth in his worry. I wrote here late Friday about me finding out that my now BF was the surgeon that was scheduled to do my breast reduction surgery. When we found out, I of course knew that we were gonna have to reschedule with a new doctor. He was silent and then said, "Forget it, I will never do it, and I will make sure nobody else does it." He initially made it about how he loved my breasts, and I was very offended and hurt. Yesterday he apologized over the phone and said that he was just under stress because of what I sprung upon him and didn't formulate himself very well. While he loved my body, it wasn't the reason why he is trying to block my procedure. He said that he suspects that I have BDD. And with surgeries like breast reduction, there are a lot of visible scarring and lost/reduced feel. He asked me to promise him to at least seek therapy before trying to make appointment. Plastic surgeries here are done by private clinics, and he said any suspicions of BDD and I'm deemed unfit because surgeons know that this type of clients are more prone to sue the clinic later and ruin the reputation. He showed up at my place this morning with breakfast. He said that he wanted to apologize and explain more. He told me that since I'm not big enough to get any physical benefits from a breast reduction, the major reason why women do this surgery, I'm only doing it because of my twisted body image. When I tried to protest, he told me not to lie because often breast reduction surgeries are paid for by healthcare and are therefore free. You get a referral from your doctor to a clinic, but since I booked an appointment on my own and am willing to pay from my own pocket, €10,000, then it was just a cosmetic procedure because I didn't fulfill the requirement to get a free surgery. He showed me pictures of scares in different stages of healing and explained in details, pros and cons, risks and side effects. When I was still defiant, he asked me to take my clothes off. I was taken aback by this request. Excuse me? He said, yes, we have been dating for 2 months, and I've never seen you completely naked and free. Always trying to hide like you hate your body. I was very angry, so I did it just to make a point. I told him that he's possessive and the way he talks to me in bed is what made me believe he didn't want me to change my body like he owned me or something. He looked surprised and said that he doesn't think he owned me, and whatever he says in bed is just a part of sex. That, yes, he loves my body because it was mine and not because it looks a certain way, and that he wished I loved it as much as he did. Because then I would see how beautiful it is. Afterwards, he took me to the bathroom and made me stand in front of the mirror, and he started complimenting every body part, and at first I wanted to look away, but he was persistent and told me he wished I could see how perfect I was. Now he is sleeping here and I'm more confused than ever. My parents were pregnant with my brother when they adopted me. My brother and I are 8 months apart. We don't have other siblings. My parents are still together. My parents, mostly my father, but my mother was an accomplice, were abusive to me as a child. Physically hitting me with belts, yelling in anger, and psychologically too. They were abusive to my brother too, but looking back on it, I feel like they were less abusive to him. I was hit most often for hitting my brother. I hated him growing up. He's a really good guy though, and I regret it. But I also can see the reasons why I resented this person coming into our world and taking attention away from me as young as 8 months old. But I was also hit for just being different than my dad. For trying to express myself as a different person. And the hitting caused emotional troubles for me, which lead to more hitting. I'm figuring this out now, because I'm a dad to a daughter and she is so remarkably well behaved and well adjusted. Much more than I was at that age. Seeing who she is at her age, and knowing who I was at that age, it's caused me to explore the resentment, hatred, to be honest, I feel towards my parents now. My daughter has never been hit by a parent. And I've caught myself raising my voice at her, but I have tried to stop myself, and usually am successful. I'm trying to come to terms with how I feel towards them, how I feel about myself, coupled with the pride I feel in overcoming what they did to me, and the pride I feel towards my own daughter. My parents have tried to be good people and good to me for the past 25 years, and I've accepted their kindness. But, over the past couple of years, I've been really angry at them for not even acknowledging their behavior towards me. They'll be hurt and confused why I'd confront them now, but the timing is my choice. I do feel they love me, but that doesn't feel very important considering the damage they caused during childhood. Also, I feel very sorry for my dad. He had a hard childhood. He overcame that, other than being an abusive dad, I guess. And is now having health issues as he's gotten older. But weighing all options, I think it may actually be nicer to him to explain my anger towards him and give him an opportunity to show remorse, though I doubt he will, than to just be angry with him until he is here no longer and he'd never have a chance to at least address it. I would also like to explore the role my adoption played in this. My therapist recently asked if they treated my brother and I differently, and for the past 45 years I said no. But it suddenly dawned on me, actually, they did treat me differently. Not sure why I, 36M, never tried this with a partner before. I've always loved foreplay, but in the past 10 to 15 minutes, we'd move on to the main event. I tend to finish a bit early, so it was always 50-50 as to whether she'd orgasm. Well, fairly recently, maybe a year ago, we're fooling around, and for whatever reason I just keep going. Gently teasing her, going back and forth between going down on her and fingering her. Every time she gets excited, I pull back for a minute. My wife's not usually one for dirty talk, but after about 45 minutes and lulling away for probably the 5th or 6th time, she bucks her hips, throws a mini fit and just blurts out, "Please, I want your cock, I need you to toe fuck me." I lost it at that point and was on top of her. She orgasmed almost as soon as my cock touched her pussy and moaned louder than I've ever heard her. A few minutes later, I came harder than I have in years. Ever since we've been doing this at least a couple times a week. We still have a quickie here and there, usually in the morning before work, but if there's time I love teasing her until she's begging for more. Usually holding her hands behind her back with one hand while I tease her with the other, or maybe we use a vibrator. It's so hot watching her kick and beg when I stop. She's normally a bit conservative, but the longer I tease the dirty she gets. That's all I had to say, lol. Not really a point to it, just wanted to say it's made sex like 10 times hotter for us. We were both kind of in a rut for a while, but this broke us out of it. Since she's enjoying sex more, she's also been more adventurous. Flashing in public, telling me how she can't get home to ride me. Hell, the other day she came into my office and without saying a word she got on her knees and gave me probably the best BK of my life. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel. There are many interesting articles ahead.